So hello and welcome to this next edition of Coach's Corner. I'm sitting here with the cross country coach, Miss Rock, and we're here to talk about the state championship. We're gonna gloss over the boys for a little bit, and then we're gonna kind of talk about the girls. So I think we should just start with the boys. So how do you think their performance was? Obviously they won state. And I've heard a lot about some stories about how these guys really push for it. And so what do you think about that?
Well, yeah, they definitely pushed for it. We went into state knowing that we had a chance, and so then they were able to pull it off. Nick Nyman finished third overall, and then Harrison Fultz came in fifth, and Ty Odom came in sixth, and then really helping us out, Rhett Perry crawled literally across the finish line.
I saw that video.
Yeah, and so with him being able to do that, and then Matt Norton coming in, those were our top five, and those are the ones that secured that state championship for us.
All right, so let's go into the girls. I know they finished pretty close to the top.
Yes.
So can you just kind of talk about how you think the girls did, and who really helped you earn that I think third place position?
Yes,
was that?
yes. So the girls ended up finishing third. So what's so incredible about that is that before going into the state meet, the girls were not predicted to have a podium spot at all. They were predicted to be going in at fifth, and so just the atmosphere before the race, the girls were all so positive and so pumped, and just the mindset of we can do this. And so they started off, and Darby Olive had been sick for a couple of weeks before with just a really bad cold, and she put it all out there. And Megan Dobso had an amazing finish, coming in 8th place, and getting her podium spot. And then Darby was right after her in 9th. And then our other girls were able to pull through and have some of their best times, and that's what got us that third spot.
All right, and so you said that you guys were the girls were projected to be fifth. Do you think that fifth place position really drove them to say, oh no, we're gonna prove them wrong? And so do you think that was kind of the mindset?
Most definitely, yeah. The night before our state meet, we had a team dinner. And the girls just sat down and just talked with each other about how these predictions, aren't necessarily like your places, and anything can happen on race day. And just knowing that the girls they truly believed that it was possible, and just internalizing that belief and then showing up on race day and putting it all out there is what got them that third spot.
All right, and so also I know you talk about a lot about Darby Olive and Megan Dobso, who are two underclassmen still.
Yes.
And so how do you think that sort of underclassmen leadership will also help you in the long run and for seasons to come?
Well, we are really set up with the girls. So we have one senior girl, Zimmy, who has always showed up for us and done really well. But all of our other state teams are underclassmen, and so that's certainly exciting for the future, just because we know that we have this strong leadership and strong group of runners that are going to be coming up next year, that are experienced runners, experienced at running the state course and experienced at leading the team.
All right, so also about the state course. So do you think that sort of poses a bigger challenge than let's say our home course or any of the other courses? Where would you rate this based on course difficulty?
Well, the state course is always considered really difficult because there are a large number of hills on the state course, and so that's just a different type of racing. Typically, times on the state course are not quite as fast as times, say, on our course or on one of the faster courses that we run, the A6 course. But it's a lot of the kids will also say that they like the course. They like the challenge, and of course, when you have uphills, you also have those downhills, and so just being able to use those downhills to your advantage, to be able to gain ground on some of the other athletes that maybe aren't as experienced as running that course.
And also some of the other athletes, especially what I observed at the region meet with the girls, McIntosh, they seem to be really dominant. It was always McIntosh, Stars Mill. So do you think that sort of that regional rivalry kind of helped push you to get that third place spot? And also, what other teams do you think, like outside of the region, were like good competition for you?
Definitely the McIntosh girls, like that rivalry is always there. McIntosh had a really strong team this year, and what you saw at region was that group of McIntosh girls running as a pack together. And for whatever reason, that pack didn't happen at state. And so when that pack didn't happen at state, that then allowed us the opportunity to be able to kind of get in between those girls. And so what ended up happening was McIntosh finished second. And of course we were coming in as third. As far as other rivalries, I think that probably is really the biggest one. Woodland ended up finishing first in this. We don't typically race against them a whole lot, but that's certainly a competitive group of girls.
All right, so also just sort of would be competitive, like say on both sides, boys and the girls, that competitive drive with other teams and with each other. Do you think that helps during the races?
That certainly helps during the races, just knowing that you see that green jersey up in front of you, and I'm going to catch that green jersey and I'm going to pass it. Okay. It's some incentive to be able to keep going.
All right, and so sort of to wrap this up, I just kind of want to go ahead and touch back on like future state playoff or state championship runs. So based on the performances on both sides, boys and the girls, where do you see you guys going in the future?
Well, we're continuing to build up the team, and we'll have we have this big group of senior boys that are going to be leaving, but we've got a good group of underclassmen boys that we're bringing together and just getting them to bond together to continue training for that, and hopefully be competitive next year as well. And then we've already talked about the large group of underclass girls that we have that are already experienced at running the state course. So my hopes for the team in the future is to be able to continue to be competitive like we have been this year.
All right, and so that wraps up this week's episode of Coach's Corner. Please join us up for next week, and we'll have who our coach will be out in the near future. Thanks, Coach Rock, for joining me, and that wraps it up.
All right, thank you.